Today on Monkey Life, it's a chilly start for the chimps as winter sets in. And an anxious morning at the woolly monkey house.
They discovered little Raúl on his back in one of the tunnels.
Results in a desperate fight for life for baby Raúl.
The prognosis is reserved at the minute. I'm not sure.
This is Monkey World in Dorset. Tucked away deep in the English countryside, it's the largest sanctuary for monkeys and apes on the planet. And this is Dr. Alison Cronin, the primate's best friend. Alison and her team spend their lives rescuing...
Yeah, everybody's brilliant. Really good.
...and rehabilitating primates from all over the world.
Well, we're pleased with you now.
They currently look after more than 240 monkeys and apes from 15 different species. It's been snowing at the park for hours. And for Mike, Holly and the rest of the team at the Woolly Monkey House, a day which started badly has just got worse.
Yeah, they came in as normal, around about sort of 8:15. Everybody was happy here. All of the woolly monkeys here in the top house were walking about, moving around. Everybody was as normal. And then literally half an hour later, they discovered little Raúl on his back in one of the tunnels. Why and how he actually got there, we just don't know. It's just a complete mystery as to what happened.
Raúl has been rushed to the vets only semi-conscious and in shock. The primate care team are in shock too. Raúl had such a good start in life. He was born 4 months ago, the second baby for woolly monkey mum, Paquita. It's hard to test woolies for pregnancy.
Pee.
And keeper Holly spent hours trying to train her to give a urine sample.
Paquita. Pee. Come on.
No one was quite sure when she was due to give birth. But one autumn morning, the keepers arrived to find her clutching a tiny newborn boy.
Here she is. She's doing very well. She's looking after the baby. And at the moment, we're just watching and waiting to see if she's suckling it properly. It's currently holding onto my finger with its tail. It's moving around. It seems very curious about things, and it's vocalising to the rest of the group. So at the moment, things are looking very positive.
Holly and her colleagues were delighted to discover that Paquita was proving to be a good mum, and the baby was suckling well. But Holly did have some concerns about the speed of baby Raúl's progress and Paquita's unusual way of carrying him around.
We never like to be too optimistic because it kind of tempts fate. But Paquita decided to do things her own way. She wasn't carrying the baby how woolly monkeys normally do. Normally they carry them straight down their chest so it's easy for them to feed. She decided she was going to carry it like a human would, between her two arms like this. And Raúl has decided he's much happier on her back or hanging horizontally on her side, which is kind of out of the ordinary, but it works for these guys. And he's feeding very well. He's very, very strong. And everything, even though it's not quite normal, seems to be going very, very well indeed.
But this morning, that's all changed, and Mike is still stunned and unsure what's happened.
For something like this to go wrong, it's devastating. It just seems so unfair. We had to take him away from his mum because obviously he needed medical attention. So we managed to get him away from his mum, put him on a little hot water bottle because he was obviously cold, and wrapped him up in nice furry blankets, cuddled him so that he became warm again, and then he was taken off to the vets, which was the quickest option, so that they could have an immediate look at him and hopefully maybe discover something that's wrong with him.
Coming up, it's touch and go for Raúl, as vets fight to save the tiny woolly monkey and the team wait anxiously for the result of X-rays.
It just seems to be an unfortunate accident.
It's stopped snowing, but it's still very cold. And most of the primates are keeping warm indoors.
It's obviously more challenging to move animals around when the weather is bad, and we've had to take certain precautions. For example, we wouldn't let the capuchin monkeys out in this kind of weather, and that's really because they've only been here for a year, and they're still really finding their feet and learning how to come back in when it's cold, and so we haven't risked it, and we've not let them out because we'd be worried about certain individuals who may sit out in the snow. But the older animals and the animals that are in a good routine, that we do know that they will come back if they get too cold, then obviously we can let them out and enjoy it. But you just need to keep an eye on everyone and make sure there's no one sitting out, because obviously they'll get cold if they're out for long periods.
The chimps are a hardy bunch, and some of Hananya's group brave the weather, fascinated by the white stuff decorating their enclosure. Over at Paddy's group, the snow has had a calming effect on normally boisterous Gamba. Kathy prefers cracking the ice in the pond for a chilly snack. It's a favourite with leader Paddy. And dominant female Cindy.
I think the chimps do suffer from the cold just like we do. So they tend to go out and have a run around and brave the cold weather, but then they like to come back in to warm up. So they've not been out for long, but they've certainly been out enjoying it.
To warm them up, Paddy's group are about to have a treat. Hot jacket potatoes.
It's something that we do right the way through the winter. We like to hand feed them just to make sure that everybody gets one, because it is a firm favourite with them. So I'm just chopping them into halves, and then Maria and I will go up into the tunnel area and give them out to the chimps. During the winter time, it is important that we keep a good weight on all our chimps, so we like them to be a little bit heavier during the winter, so we do tend to up the calories slightly during the winter time, and then obviously if they get any colds or coughs, they can maintain their same body weight. So any of the ones that are slightly skinnier can have a couple, and then there's a couple that just get one or two.
Good girl, Athena. And that's pretty much it for these guys in the tunnel. They've all had their fair share.
It's snowing again, and despite the anxiety over woolly monkey Raúl's fall, the team need to keep the park running. Jeremy is definitely not a fan of today's weather.
There's nothing positive about snow. Why anybody thinks there is totally and utterly beyond me. It's bad. In weather like this, the guys just stay indoors. One or two people will go outside and have a look and think, God, that's cold, and then go back in again. And that, I'm with them. Obviously the biggest problem is keeping the chaps warm, and you cross your fingers and hope not too much breaks down. But it gives George something to do with his chaps, doesn't it? Keeps them off the street.
George is head of maintenance, and in this weather it's important he keeps the heating going so the animals stay warm. Amy's capuchin group are really appreciative. It's too cold for them to even venture outside, but with the heating turned up and the keepers providing a challenging supply of extra vitamins, they've plenty to keep them entertained. Clever Elvira is first to show her balancing skills, while Fiona finds it a bit trickier to break open a melon. The capuchins were all rescued from a lab. Their balance and coordination has hugely improved since their old life in solitary confinement, as Marcy demonstrates, managing to pierce the melon skin with her sharp teeth and reach inside for the fruit and seeds. The girls are definitely getting their 5 a day with the fruit, but the veg is less popular. Dominant female Amy shows a preference for melon and doesn't give up even when it hits the deck. Capuchins are from tropical Central and South America, so they're happy to just watch the snow from their window and enjoy the feast. But whatever the conditions, work doesn't stop for the keepers at the 65-acre site. They've more than 240 apes and monkeys spread across 20 different enclosures to feed and look after. But with the park being so close to the coast, they don't often get such bad weather, and it's a bit of a novelty for keepers and animals alike.
Certainly I haven't seen snow since I've been here, so yeah, it's very rare, obviously, in this part of the country, so it's nice. Occasionally we've had tiny bits, but nothing that's settled, you know, quite like this. They're funny, the chimps, because they'll always look first, and they have, of course, seen frosty mornings, and so that can look quite white, but they all came into the bedrooms this morning and were staring out the windows and weren't quite sure what to make of it, but once they braved the outside, they enjoyed it. They seem to be very robust, actually, chimps, when it comes to that sort of thing. Often in the summertime, they'll hold ice lollies for 20, 30 minutes, so they do seem to be more immune to that, and they like the cold textures, so they came in and they had sort of breakfast in one hand and a snowball in the other.
Honey enjoys the snow, but isn't quite so keen on the cold, and has brought her snowball indoors. While Turkish chimp Zeynep, well, she just fancies having a duvet day. In their native Africa, chimps wouldn't experience temperatures this cold, so the park takes every precaution to keep them healthy over the winter.
Yes, of course, chimps can get the things that we can get, and so staff have to be very careful around this time of year. Obviously, if we're harbouring a cold or a cough, we need to be very careful around the chimps, take precautionary measures, for example, wearing face masks and that kind of thing.
And they go one step further.
Every chimp that lives at Monkey World gets a flu jab. Some years ago, we started actually the injection training with the chimps with a view to be able to do this kind of thing. If you can do it in this way, where it's, you know, they know exactly what's happening and they get a reward for doing it, it's a much nicer way of doing it.
Cookie is a perfect patient, as Kate gives her the injection in her shoulder, while Cara goes through her checklist to see who still needs a jab. Zeynep isn't happy, but presents her arm for a second time. And gets a banana and a packet of raisins as a reward. While the chimps line up for their flu inoculations, Holly has arrived at the vet's with baby woolly Raúl. He appears to have had a fall, but the keepers don't know exactly what happened. At the surgery, they're more used to dealing with domestic pets, but Vet Thesar takes blood tests and x-rays straight away.
That's a good sample. That's good, good.
Baby Raúl is in great distress, but the vet must give him a thorough check to discover what's wrong.
He was collapsed, he was dying, no doubt. He was very, very poorly, just with a really heart, was beating really fast and was white, the color of the membranes was completely white, was shocked. So we put shock fluids, which is, you know, very fast fluids in turn to perk up that circulation. And then it's when we took some x-rays and we found out that the bone's density is not that good in the x-rays. And now what he's having is lack of calcium in the bloodstream and is making to be very, very sick. So yes, I think perhaps has had some head trauma. I have to admit there's a big uncertainty if this is going to be, you know, life-threatening or not. Certainly with head trauma, you know, you cannot be certain. So the prognosis is reserved at the minute. I'm not sure.
The next few hours will be critical for little Raúl. Still in shock, and with a head injury which could be more severe because of a weakness in his bones, he's only just clinging to life.
In fact, the eyes, they are still moving a little bit.
Woolly monkeys are endangered and are bred at the park as part of the European Endangered Species breeding programme. Highly strung and hard to keep in captivity, every baby counts, and losing Raúl would be a terrible blow for the team. The decision is made to keep Raúl in overnight. But in the morning, it's bad news. Raúl's condition deteriorated, and he didn't survive the night.
It's just so unfortunate. I mean, you can't really put it into words. I mean, Mother Paquita was doing so beautifully with that baby. And the baby was just fantastic. It was interacting with all the other woolly monkeys. And they are so rare, these animals, and it is very, very important that we do breed from these guys. And this is just devastating. The only thing that seems to have happened is that he had a really massive bang to the head, had internal bleeding, which caused hemorrhaging, and unfortunately that's what he died of. So it was just literally probably a freaky accident. We don't even know how that occurred. He was a very adventurous little boy. He was always climbing and jumping about all over the place. Whether he missed up in the rafters of the front bedroom and fell to the floor, we don't know, but certainly Mum did try to pick him up, and of course he wasn't able to hold on to her. We just haven't got a clue. It just seems to be an unfortunate accident.
Raúl was a rare woolly monkey, so losing him is very upsetting for the team. Breeding at the park is limited because space is needed for mistreated primates from all over the world. But Alison is committed to the European Endangered Species breeding programme, which ensures the survival of the woolies, orangutans and golden-cheeked gibbons.
You know, we do everything we can to assist those three species at the park by setting up different family groups and encouraging them to reproduce and to have babies and to look after them themselves, because that's what's most important to us, is that if we breed these animals, we want them to have natural lives and for their mothers to care for them. So wherever possible, we encourage the mothers of those three species to care for their own infants and to get on with their own lives. And with the golden-cheeked gibbons, they seem to do pretty well at mothering. So far, we've been going great guns with our golden-cheeked breeding program.
Which is why, after the sad loss of Raúl, Alison is delighted later in the week to meet up with Keeper Colin and hear some good news.
So you think we've got second one in the pipeline?
Yeah, she looks like she's pregnant. Go in now.
Okay, and how's Tien coping with that?
Okay, he's being pushed away by her.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But he's spending more time playing with his dad now. Yeah, we're fairly sure that Peanut is pregnant now. It's been 2.5, 3 years since Tien was born. She's certainly a lot bigger in the belly. She's got quite a little round belly now, and she's always been pretty keen on her food, but she's fiercely keen on her food now. She's eating a lot more. The swelling started off quite high up. It's now dropping a little bit, so we're hoping that she'll give birth possibly within the next few months. Peanut lives with her husband, her mate, Punyo, and their little son, Tien. Now, Tien's 2.5 to 3 years old now. Tien's always been very close to his mother, but he's a lot more independent now. He spends a lot of the time playing around on his own. And also, in the past few weeks, he's been spending more time with Punyo, with his father. Now, whether this is because Peanut's actually trying to wean him or, move him away a little bit, knowing that she's pregnant, then that could be another sign. But at the moment, Tien's spending a lot of time with his father, playing together quite happily.
Peanut was rescued from a tropical bird smuggler in Cambridgeshire after a court case in which Alison gave expert testimony. Peng Yo, her mate, was stolen from the wild in Vietnam for the pet trade in Taiwan. Although Peanut's pregnancy means she's trying to wean Tien before her new baby is born, she's still happy to share a cuddle.
We do take very seriously all of those new lives that come to the park, and we're over the moon when we see that we've been doing the right things for our rescued monkeys and apes.
Next time on Monkey Life. Tests for chimp Trudy as fears grow for her health.
Anything that's going to be sinister like a tumour is going to show up nice and bright.
And baby Diego leaves Alison for his woolly monkey family. Today on Monkey Life, fears grow for Trudy, one of the park's most famous chimps.
Anything that's going to be sinister like a tumour is going to show up nice and bright.
Marcel the marmoset proves to be a star pupil.
Marcel, hand. Good boy, well done.
And baby Diego finally graduates and joins his woolly monkey family. This is Monkey World in Dorset. Tucked away deep in the English countryside, it's the largest sanctuary for monkeys and apes on the planet. And this is Dr. Alison Cronin, the primate's best friend. Alison and her team spend their lives rescuing...
Pretty huge, yeah, it doesn't get much huger.
...and rehabilitating primates from all over the world.
You see, we're all head shaking hello.
They currently look after more than 240 monkeys and apes from 15 different species. There's been growing concern over the health of chimp Trudy. The youngster was rescued as a baby from circus owner Mary Chipperfield, who was prosecuted for cruelty.
Don't start, please, Trudy, because I'm not in that sort of a mood.
Over the last few weeks, Trudy has been displaying signs of back problems. But a series of X-rays has failed to provide a definitive answer.
It's narrowed down the possibilities of what Trudy's problem is, that work that we did on her the other day, but it still leaves us with a full range of something that is terminal and not very nice for Trudy's future, or something that simply is a case of she needs to be, a little bit cautious for a while and she'll heal up and get better. Still we need to do a bit more investigating and find out. I am very concerned for Trudy.
The X-rays suggest there may be some kind of mass around the vertebrae in Trudy's upper spine. That could indicate a tumour, which might be cancerous or not, an infection, but her blood tests were clear, or be the result of a previous trauma injury.
I'm going to call an urgent meeting with all of our vets so that we can have a plan of action, because at the moment all three possibilities basically mean us just managing her in the way that we are.
Alison's prepared to go to any length to solve Trudy's problems, so the team decide to call in a special mobile medical device. It's so enormous, they've had to trim some of the trees to get it into the park.
We're in a lorry, basically, which contains a mobile MRI scanning unit, which comprises of a huge magnet and all the various computerized gizmos that go with it. But it's rather like an extremely fancy X-ray or a CT scan. And it's going to tell us a lot more about the problems in Trudy's neck than a conventional X-ray will do. With a chimp, the very first thing you have to rule out is trauma, so be it a fracture or whatever. But we'll see. We'll get a lot more idea from the MRI image as to whether the lesions we saw on X-ray are caused by trauma or whether they're caused by something more sinister, like a tumour growing. Both possible, but it's a chimp. We've got to rule out trauma first.
MRI scanners are used regularly in hospitals. The patient needs to lie very still, so Trudy will have to be anaesthetised for the whole procedure. Always a risk.
We're going to be doing a pretty major scan. We're going to be looking at the brain and the whole spinal cord, and depending on how we go with the anaesthetic, we might look at the hips and perhaps other parts of the body that look a bit suspect when we're scanning as well.
Trudy is driven across the park and carefully transferred to the scanner lorry. Jeremy, vets John and Femke, and radiologist Andrew work quickly to get everything ready for the scan.
Is there any way we could, temperature-wise? It's too cold in here for her, way too cold.
The team aren't sure what's causing Trudy's condition, and they need to work down the body, so the first scan he does is her head.
You can see the brain, which is this part just here, and we're looking at the different things. We're looking at the fluid that surrounds the brain. We can see the grey and the white matter. We're looking to see if there's any tumours, any great nasty effects from some trauma.
This is just, fantastic technology, which gives you effectively like opening pages of an anatomy textbook, which is wonderful. I don't know how it works. Haven't got a clue. It's a bit like going to a financial advisor. They'll explain everything to you, and 10 minutes later you've forgotten. And I know people have explained the principle of MRI to me in the past. Yeah, I'm blowed if I can remember it.
We can see here exactly what's inside her head. So we can see that there's no great space-occupying lesion that's, for example, a tumour that's going to cause any big problems. So far, so good, touch wood. We haven't quite finished. We're going to look at the spine next, and so we can have a look down there.
Now, as long as we know that she doesn't have something like a tumour that's eating away at her central nervous system and causing her pain that she's hiding and the whole thing, that's my main concern for Trudy, is her welfare.
Later, concern in the scanner.
Massive lesion there.
Oh my God.
Could this be the reason for Trudy's problems? Leanne Bates and her husband Mike are regular visitors to the park. They're both primate experts from California, where Alison's from. They swap ideas and research with the team at Monkey World and help with the primates training.
You can vary the session by mixing up the behaviors a little bit more.
Yeah, okay.
Today, Leanne is helping Donna from the Small Monkeys team. She's training one of the tiniest monkeys in the park, Marcel the marmoset, to present his hand for inspection.
Marcel, target. Good boy.
Technically, the technique they're using is called operant conditioning.
Marcel, target. Well done.
Clicker training for short, because a click sound is used to tell the primates they've done something right. It's mostly used on the larger apes, so for tiny marmosets to learn, it's quite unusual.
Marcel, target.
The first stage is to persuade the monkey to come to the right spot on the mesh by providing a target.
Marcel, target.
We're actually conditioning a really natural behavior for most primates, which is to reach out and touch food, which is a really strong motivator for them. And we're pairing that with a click, which is actually something that tells them they did something good, because it usually is followed by the food.
Good boy.
These guys have really tiny fingers. They get into squabbles once in a while. So finger injuries are not uncommon. So you can imagine to have a hand presentation at request at any time in the day gives you a great opportunity to look at an injury up close, and in most cases even treat it.
Target.
Leanne believes clicker training is the kindest and least stressful way to help captive primates.
This is basically making their life here as high quality as possible. We want to let them just do what they do in a social setting, and that's really the goal here at Monkey World.
Nathan, target. Good boy, well done.
Marcel's been successful with the target, so Donna tries tiny Nathan next and asks for his hand.
Hand. Nathan, hand.
But Nathan's lost interest, and Marcel's nowhere to be seen. So, for now, Leanne and Donna abandon the training session. At the park's marmoset enclosure, the tiny monkeys are enjoying a treat of stick insects. Common marmosets are native to the central forests of Brazil, and in the wild live in groups of up to around 15 individuals. They have claw-like nails which help them cling to branches and land when they leap.
Marcel!
Leanne and Donna are back to see if they can persuade the marmosets to present their small hands for examination. The monkeys lost interest halfway through the last session, but ever-patient Donna is trying again with Marcel.
Marcel, hand. No. Marcel, hand. Good boy, well done.
So click when he gives you the hand.
Okay.
And then you can say okay when you're done.
Marcel, hand. Good boy, well done.
And then go ahead with that duration again.
Hand. Marcel, hand. Good boy, well done.
Yeah, that's great. And he did start to leave it there for a duration, which is good. And that's what you want to work toward.
Yeah.
Cool. Well done.
The training session went really well. Obviously, when we start it each day, you don't know what the animal is going to be thinking, whether they're going to be in the mood for training or not. But today seemed to go really well. Marcel, hand. Good boy. Definitely a good result. Hopefully, all the other marmosets in the park will be achieving the same thing.
The majority of the chimps at the park have been rescued from beach photographers and the pet trade. The care staff try to encourage the kind of behaviour they would have learned in the forest, like foraging for different foods. Today, they're putting out pachnoda grubs, high-protein insect larvae similar to those the chimps might eat in their natural habitat. Hananya's group all had a tough start, but life at the park has given them a second chance. Being the alpha male, Hananya always gets to eat first and has no hesitation snacking on the grubs. Gangly teenager Shamak hoovers them up and looks for more, while Simon and high-ranking female Joni are a little unsure. Not enamoured with the grubs, Simon heads to the pond to correct his bad hair day. While former lab chimp Evelyn, usually a bit of a tomboy, ignores the grubs completely in favour of comfy blankets. But while Hananya and his group relax, there's one chimp missing.
All right, then I'll go backwards. Will you? Good.
Trudy has been suffering from back problems, and the team are hoping a mobile MRI scanner will reveal the cause. They've looked at her brain and are now examining her spine.
Anything that's going to be sinister like a tumour is going to show up nice and bright. So we haven't seen anything there. Exclude the brain, because although it's bright, it's meant to be surrounded by fluid, so that's fine. That's good news.
Wildlife vet John checks Trudy's vital signs, and she's lined up for a lower back scan.
There's a massive lesion there.
Oh my God!
So it's...
Andrew has spotted an abnormality in Trudy's lower lumbar region. This could be the cause of her pain.
Looks like perhaps a slight herniation of this material here.
Where am I? Interesting that some of the discs in the neck appear to be desiccated or dropping.
We're looking at the top part of lumbar vertebrae number 5, which looks to have perhaps ankylosed or fused with the vertebrae above it. You can imagine two bones that are meant to be separate, but when they become one, they start to fuse together. Then it means that anything that's meant to be between them, be that disc material or if it's impinging on the spinal cord, then it's going to cause problems to whatever that happens to be. If it's impinging on some nerves or some the spinal cord, then it's going to cause a lot of pain, and that could be why she's now tentative, and instead of jumping from tree to tree, she's now going down to the ground. So yeah, it's going to cause a lot of pain. Is it curative? You can actually go in and shave off part of the bone. That's a decision that John will make in consultation with his colleagues.
A lot of primates get spinal arthritis, but not in the same kind of position as that. And Trudy's young. It's a very juvenile animal to have, spinal arthritis. What I'd like to do is hear the opinion of someone who spends, is an expert in interpreting spinal scans. And that's our next move, really.
It's been a worthwhile exercise, and the team may be closer to finding out what's causing Trudy's discomfort. But at the moment, there are still more questions than answers.
You're a good little man, aren't you? Yes, you are.
Baby woolly monkey Diego is now 6 months old. He's been hand-reared by Alison and the primate care team, but their sleepless nights have come to an end.
Today's probably the last day that I'm going to have him here with me feeding him, because I think really now I've become more of a hindrance in his life than an asset, and he's ready to join the woolly monkey group for good. So I think today is probably going to be the last day that he stays with me. At this point, he spends all day long with the woolly monkeys and flies about the enclosure, so there is no need for us to be fussing over him. He's a woolly monkey and he's ready to go home.
Diego is about to join his new woolly family full-time. Three months ago, tragedy struck at the park when they lost one of these precious endangered woolly youngsters after a fall. Little Raúl's accident shocked everyone, but now the team have a plan to make sure Diego stays safe.
Little Raúl actually took a spill and cracked his head open inside the house. Now, we need to make sure that the house is kitted up as good as humanly possible for when a young lad like him starts moving about, that if he does take a tumble or a fall, because They do fall from the trees. They do make mistakes when they're learning. And we just need to make sure that in the house there are enough ropes hanging down that wherever he is, he can reach out and grab something. Even if he's falling down, odds are that that tail or hands and feet will latch onto something before he hits the deck.
So the maintenance team and keepers get to work transforming the woolly monkey playhouse into a safe environment for adults and babies. A delighted Holly is happy to give a guided tour.
So we've put in things like laundry baskets, which they like to sit in, they like to sit on, and we can hide their dinner in or insects in, just to keep things new and different for them. We've also added some logs, which we've suspended from the ceiling. Lavar's very, very strong. He's the dominant male, and he would throw these around in displays. So just to make sure nobody gets injured and that our windows are safe, we've secured them with hose that Diego also can climb up and down. And we've added rope bridges that are nice and brightly coloured, so they're fun to look at. And Diego can use those to access different parts of the house, like the food bowls, the floor, the ceiling. But one of the most important things we've done is we've installed drop-downs of hose for Diego to be able to get up and out of the way and access the ceiling and slides and that kind of thing. But we've made a couple of other additions as well. One's a cargo net, which we've added up in the rafters. We've secured that with great big bolts, so nobody will be taking that down. And that will help us if Diego's up in the rafters and does take a bit of a tumble. He will catch himself in the cargo net. And whilst it's good for him, it's fun for the adults too. They can swing round in it and sunbathe in it under the skylights.
Diego has been spending his days in the bedrooms at the woolly house. Tonight, he will sleep there for the first time. And in the morning, all being well, he'll be allowed into the playroom. Keeper Holly has one last sleepless night to check how he's getting on.
I stayed here till about 9 o'clock last night, making sure that everybody dropped off to sleep well. And he had a pretty late night. I think he was making the most of not having any adult supervision. But at 9 o'clock, he fell asleep with Julio on a shelf in one of the bedrooms, curled up in a ball, which, well, we couldn't really be happier for him to decide to sleep with a woolly monkey rather than sleep in the crates we provide for them with fleecy blankets in is such a big step. Everyone's absolutely chuffed to bits.
After a good night's sleep, Diego, half-brother Julio, and the rest of the group get a chance to see the home improvements.
Well done, guys. Come on then. Come on, Suze.
So far, it's been absolutely fantastic. Diego was a little bit unsure at first. We were quite happy for him not to even brave the room for days and just check it out from a distance, but he went and had a look in the tunnel, had a quick peek in the room, thought about it for a minute, and then he was straight in, all over the floor, up and down the ropes, and the browse seemed to be a particularly good hit, jumping about in that and eating some of it. So far it's going fantastically.
Next time on Monkey Life, the ring-tailed lemur who ruled the roost at a family home.
Kaya didn't fit in to our life at all. We had to fit around Kaya. You ready, Elvira? Look, ha! That's it.
And the Chilean capuchins get a lesson in wild behaviour.